In other news, the World Bank today approved $700 million in budgetary and welfare support for Sri Lanka in the biggest funding tranche for the crisis-hit island since an International Monetary Fund deal in March. The funding pact aims to help Sri Lanka implement foundational reforms that restore macroeconomic stability and sustainability, mitigate the impact of current and future shocks on the poor and vulnerable, and support an inclusive and private sector-led recovery and growth path. About $500 million of the funds will be allocated for budgetary support, while the remaining $200 million will be for welfare support earmarked for those worst hit by the crisis. The World Bank Board of Directors today approved $700 million in financing for two operations to help Sri Lanka implement foundational reforms that restore macroeconomic stability and sustainability, mitigate the impact of current and future shocks on the poor and vulnerable, and support an inclusive and private sector-led recovery and growth plan. $500 million of the funds will be allocated for the Sri Lanka Resilience, Stability and Economic Turnaround Development Policy operation, which will support reforms that improve economic governance, enhance growth and competitiveness, and protect the poor and vulnerable. This operation will provide budgetary support in two equal tranches against agreed prior actions. Meanwhile, welfare support of $200 million will be allocated for the Social Protection Project. The funding was green-lighted when the World Bank Group's Board of Executive Directors met for a discussion on the new country partnership framework, Sri Lanka today. In a statement, the World Bank's country director for Sri Lanka, Fariz Hadadzavaz, said that through a phased approach, the World Bank Group's strategy focuses on early economic stabilization, structural reforms, and protection of the poor and vulnerable. The country director added that if sustained, these reforms can put the country back on the path towards a green, resilient, and inclusive development.